All right, so what we're going to do today is lay out our drawing just like we did our sketch. So we have the sketch, we have the drawing, and we have the part. What is the difference between all three? Uh, the sketch is what we did on paper, the part is this 3D model, and the drawing is this orthographic drawing right here that you're going to lay out as an official drawing with a title block and all this stuff, the material, the finish, everything all completed and submitted industry standard. Right? So I'm going to erase this one because this was an old demo. Right? And I just have my keychain open right now. So with the keychain open, you are going to create a new drawing right here. And you could just do the default template and the A-inch. Right? A is just a standard sheet of paper. So once you open this up, right, you'll get prompt. As long as you created the drawing within your part, you're just going to click on your part 1, and then it will let you drop it. It takes a second to load. The text, I think, really changes. Oh, I don't know what happened. Really changes how quick it moves because I'm still waiting. There you go. And once you get the box, it'll let you place it. So I don't want you to do this right now. I just want you to watch, then do. So if you are watching the video, of course, you can continue on and do it. So I am going to place the front view. Again, it's going to lag a little bit. Unfortunately, it's just the result of adding that text. Then I'm going to drop my top view, come back down, click on the front so that it lets me place another view because I need to place my side view, click, and I'm going to place my isometric. Once I have everything on there, I'm going to hit escape because I don't want to place any more views. And I have to do a few things before I actually start my dimensioning. So again, you will be able to use your drawing, or your sketch, I'm sorry. You'll be able to use your sketch to figure out your dimensions, and I'll also have it up on Teams so that you can take a look to make sure you got all of them. First thing I'm going to do is come up to my isometric, and I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to change it to show shaded view. And what that does is turns on my color. And you do want to make sure that yours has some color here so that if I quickly look at it, I could tell what color you wanted it to be 3D printed in. Right? And I have a good bit of colors, but not all of them. Next thing I'm going to do is show my hidden lines. So before we start dimensioning, we want to make sure that we can see everything possible on here. So I'm going to right click on my side view, and the first option here is show hidden lines. And what that does is shows me through the side. If I was looking at it from this way, obviously we wouldn't see anything, but it says behind that there are items that are important, right? So here's where all my letters are. That's just, you know, a random jumble of lines, but the important ones are this one here coming down to here, this dotted line. We drew that on our sketch, right? And what that is showing is the extrusion inside this inner rectangle. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing at the top. Right click, show hidden lines. All right, last thing I need to do is add my center mark. Remember, whenever we dimension a circle, it has 3 dimensions. It has the size and the location. So in order to give the location, we need to use a center mark. So I'll click on center mark and my circle. The center mark looks just like a little crosshair in the center. Next thing I'm going to do is start my dimensioning. I'll hit D on my keyboard for the dimension tool. Looks like this. Right? There's all these within. You could just use the simple dimension tool. You don't have to specify them. Right, so whenever I'm ready to grab my diameter, I could just click and drag out. Whenever I'm ready to grab my radius, I can click and drag out. I'm going to start on my baseline just like I did on our sketch on the left side of the part here. So I'm going to go from smallest to largest in terms of which dimension. So I'll click here. My first vertical line would be the center point of the circle. It's a little hard to get sometimes. Let me move my mouse out. Come on. I don't know why it's not working. Let's try it again. I'm going to do center point to edge since it didn't let me. It usually lets me. That's the first time today it didn't. But regardless, it still gives us the same measurement. So now I'm going to come back to my baseline, right, this left-hand side. Click on the beginning and the beginning of my inner rectangle. You want to make sure you click on that flat spot or else it'll give you an angle or an arc. So we have 0.5. Then I'm going to come here. The end of my inner rectangle, 2.875 or 2 7/8. Then I'm going to do my overall width. Whoops. Undo. I misclicked. Undo is Control Z or this arrow right here. And there we go, 3 inches for our overall width. Now, you don't have to do where your letters are, but you can if you want. It'll get pretty messy. We don't really care where the letters are in terms of our standard drawing for this example, but you're totally welcome to if you can fit it and not make it look like a mess. All right, my next baseline, we started from our sketch. It was the top line. So I'll go from the top to the top of my inner rectangle. That's 0.125, same as my sketch. Then the top, we don't want to forget that we still need to find the other dimension to that circle. So we're going to bring it all the way across, unfortunately, and drop it right below. Then we're going to go from here to the bottom. And then here to the overall bottom for our overall height. So notice, right, it counts up. It counts up. Don't put your dimensions larger on the bottom. You want to start smallest and go to the largest. Last two things we need to do on the front. I need to grab my diameter, so you can see I'm highlighting my circle here. And once it turns yellow, that means whenever we click it, it'll give us that diameter symbol. Right, so we want to leave that. You want to make sure that your diameter is 1/4 of an inch, 0.25. And then we need to grab our radius. So we are just replicating our sketch here. All right, so I'll click and drop the radius as well. So we have our height, we have our width. Now we need our depth. So I'm going to use my side view to provide my depth. How thick is this object, right? And that is 0.25, 1/4 of an inch. The only other dimension that we are missing is, unfortunately, we have to use this hidden line, which is a no-no, but for this example, we're going to do it. So I'm going to click on my hidden line, start and finish, and say this inside rectangle is extruded 1/8 of an inch into my overall depth. So that looks just like our sketch. Last thing we need to do is finish up our title block. So it adds your name, the date, approved would be me whenever you're finished, and then your title is just going to be your last name, Keychain. Let me get rid of that thing at the end. There we go. And then drawing number, this is drawing number 1 for the keychain, so 01 is fine. Scale is 1:1, it'll automatically do that for you. and then finally material and finish. So the 3D printing material that we're going to use is PLA, and the finish would be whatever color you would like. So mine is obviously green, so I'll type green. When you're finished with this, you do not have to share it again. Since you've already shared your part with me, it'll share this as well.